high caliber mayhem. Hold on, good boy. Stop chasing me, or I will run out of breath. I've survived 2020 after all. If you know what I mean. Well, yeah. For next several months, this will be your home. The last month, this will be your home? Or how did they say it? I don't remember. All of you remember this film Fury with Brad Pitt. They had a 4th generation Sherman tank. We got a T-72 tank in today's video. The most common tank of its generation in the world. More than 20,000 of them were made before 1992. This machine has been used as the basis for many modern vehicle designs, including T-90. The development of T-72 began in late 60s as the cheaper mobilization model. A tank with a front-mounting control compartment, a fighting compartment in the middle of the hull, and an engine compartment in the stern. That is T-72. The crew consists of 3 people: driver, commander, and gunner. It has no charger, instead a circular automatic loading mechanism. 22 shots are in the machine, 22 are uploaded separately. Therefore, this tank could fire the first half of the ammunition at 8 rounds per minute. Of course, all models have equipment for self-digging, underwater diving, for crossing rivers at the depths of 5 meters, protection against the weapons of mass destruction, in other words, an air filtration and increased pressure inside. Alright guys, I'll be honest. It's a little scary to be in a tank, which is silenced on all sides, with hatches battened down. You don't feel like inside a BMW, because you're obviously in a tank, constrained with armored walls. 44 rounds of 125mm caliber are below you. A huge cannon. And when everything here will start working, set in motion, it will be easy to jump out of your skin. It's really uncomfortable in here. I'm not discouraging you from joining tank forces. I want to say that if you're at least 10 kilos bigger than me, you probably won't be able to get in here. This tank is armed with one A40, a sight with several eyepieces. The first is for direct shooting control, for visual detection I mean. The second is for the rocket control. Yes, T-72B is capable of firing rockets from the launcher. And through this eyepiece, you will be able to see how rocket flies and hits the target. This is the night vision device. Now the curtain is closed because you can bend the matrix if you will use it in the daytime. But at night, everything is perfectly visible. To load the ammunition, we switch this toggle to load mode. Here we have to push the automatic loading button, and this icon should light up. We press this button, and right here we will have the cassette. The gun will go down as far as possible, and the breech loader will rise up. The cassette will come out, and the loading will become manual. U is for guided missiles, O is for fragmentation. The sight went into fragmentation mode because each type of ammo travels differently and the scope needs to be readjusted. Armor piercing shells. and high explosive anti-tank shells. This flywheel lowers main cannon. The breech loader rises up over here. 3 types of tumblers for tower function. This is the horizontal drive, a vertical stabilization, and the range movement drive, when tower automatically navigates to a target. The sound is, well, like we're taking off, but we haven't even moved. Controls or aiming of a tank are performed with this device. Let's turn the drive and guide this tower. This thing got 4 buttons, like PlayStation. The right part of a front button is pushed with a thumb, and the rangefinder appears. So we will be able to measure, and with the left button we can cancel the target designator and the rangefinder. Index fingers on this device are pushing 2 buttons right now. The right is responsible for firing from cannon itself. The left one is responsible for Kalashnikov's tank machine gun. If this whole thing is out, you got 2 types of doubling drives. That is, this is a horizontal drive of a tower, this one is vertical, and here is a curious point. This thing moves, and, if clicked, you'll shoot from a cannon. And this button controls Kalashnikov's tank machine gun. The pedal over here is like a bullet choose. It's the last chance to toggle main cannon's fire. This article is the communication control inside. And this is the communication device. You click on it and you speak. The commander's tower is not a luxury place either. Not that many switches over here, but it's not about easy tasks. This tower is turned manually. And if it seems through your YouTube screen kinda simple, it is totally incorrect. You have to be a real jock to turn this. That is a surveillance device. It is used at night too, for it has a night vision device, a night visor. Everything here is adjustable. These items are rotating, they are diverging for your eyes if you are... well, if your eyes are very close. If your vision isn't great, the eyepieces are regulated over here. These 2 buttons allow you to specify a target designators of a kind. So, if you've indicated a target at some point, the tower of T-72B can tone automatically. And the only thing that is left for the gunner is to press shoot. But if something will happen to the gunner, and he won't be able to fire, you can control it on your own. Anyway, here is the charging control system. This is a walkie-talkie, into which commander communicates what he wants to communicate. Good news or not. This box is commander's communication control. Here he can switch from internal to external communication, so he can talk inside a tank with other tanks. Also various radio control units. And commander, of course, can control Kalashnikov's tank machine gun in manual mode. It is activated in this way. This flag is removed and the trigger is pulled. The third place is the driver's seat, or control compartment. In general, not a luxury apartment either. To turn on this mess, we have to get to this panel over here. Engine temperature, coolant, fuel gauge, speedometer, tachometer, ammeter, engine pressure, airborne pressure, and mass is toggled here. Control levers are same with Soviet tractor. Left control lever, right. Clutch, brake and speed, just like in the car. And a gearbox. T-72B had a great armor for its time, but with advent of anti-tank guided missiles and anti-tank grenade launchers, it received a dynamic protection. Roughly speaking, these boxes contain explosives, which burst in different directions when a heat shell hits. The explosion disperses it. Tank's tower contained Kalashnikov's tank machine gun. You can see its barrel, and it's completely covered by the tower, soldered with the cannon. But if you want to make a lasting impression on your girlfriend, there is an option. The commander will have to get out. This way, not a very comfortable way to be honest, and put his hands over here. The anti-aircraft gun is NSV Cliff. Shoots with 50 caliber, extremely difficult to shoot to be honest. I do not know any successful use case against aviation. Well, still called an anti-aircraft mount. By the way, I do not recommend you to stand behind the tank 10 meters away. You know why? Because there is such a lid over here. It looks like it hasn't been opened for ages, but after the shot it will open, and not a bird, but a part of a shell will fly out of here, for the other part will burn out. So, this shell casing, as they say, flew out and split helmets of poorly educated soldiers in half. Can you imagine what could be with your head if you are not wearing a helmet? It's much better to be in a tank. The two-chair grenade launcher system, over here, it throws smoke evenly, which allows the tank to get out of the firing zone. This must be an anti-hit grid. 12-cylinder V-shaped diesel engine, 840 horsepower with a top speed of 70 km per hour. Everything just like in your favorite car. Neutral point, brake, speed, reverse and everything that. Driving is not that smooth, because first you turn and then you go. The first type of projectile that we will use for today is high explosive anti-tank or HEAT. It has a weight of 23 kilos and looks like this. Here is the gunpowder charge. We take it out. Almost like a grenade. You get a cutter like this. The structure is retracted to the side. And that's it. And we get the thing out. Like this. Knock knock! A fulminate cap. Conveniently. A tube. Can you imagine? It smells like chocolate. I'm not kidding. So, let's see. Like a real chocolate. Same situation over here, but the weight is 33 kilos. High explosive projectile. These things are removed and we take them out. Well, it's kinda heavy.
Да.
Yeah, so heavy, yeah?
Увесистая штуковина. Главное,
Just do not touch it with
ну,
knife.
вот этот
That
вот
tube,
такой, знаете, как
like a column,
колонна стоит.
marble columns, you know.
Колонны. Здесь он
Here we have it fully equipped.
так скажем, в формате. Это лом.
This is like a scrap, weighs 6.5 kilos, and yes, as a commoner, you do not need to know something else, except that this is a scrap. Well, scientifically, it's an armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding saber.
Да.
Yes, the weather today is as always windy. So windy that you can hardly fly a drone. But we have our drone, means that the picture will be good. Yes, friends, we've got our ferro-concrete floors, like these plates, our little nutties, as you like them, and these sandbags. All this is to be destroyed with T-72B. Yes, I always wondered, what will be with those sandbags, bags with sand or dirt, that those dummies made. This is the main defense unit, a fast fortification structure. So what will happen if T-72B will strike it with 125mm round? A high explosive shell hits it,
Снарядик прилетел сюда.
and look what happened. It hit the lower part, everything flew in all sides, it flew at camera side,
Летело в сторону камеры и не
but didn't get it. But sandbags are tossed away, and perhaps if you are in the lower part, the chances are might be greater. Because hiding Nazis have their legs and guns
переломы
busted.
ноги, автоматик. В общем. Хотел
Though
бы
that one
посмотреть
is
голову. Ладно,
in the
с
hand.
фашистом всё понятно.
Well, he's done.
Откопаем еще одного.
Let's dig a bit. One more dummy.
Посмотрим,
Let's see.
повезло ли. Не, друзья,
No, boys, no chances.
без вариантов.
This is a head. I see no sense in digging over here.
Незачем. Здесь, по-моему,
It's a mass grave of Nazi dummies. We'll hit this plate with a heat shell,
кумулятивным снарядом и
and it's time to pull the trigger. It has a rubber band, they say. You have to lean on
Я
it.
этого не знал, поэтому
Good thing I'm a lucky boy. Otherwise, I'd have my nose broken.
танк
T-72B demolishes the plate into dust, makes a large hole in it. The parts are 200 meters away.
где-то метров на 200 раскиданы вперед. Тут
I
я
see
вижу
shells.
осколки, только не
I
могу
don't
понять,
understand.
сколько
I
летело.
shot the heat shell, but I see shards, not that many to say that I mistook the ammunition.
Это, скорее
No, of
всего,
course not. These perhaps are from the high explosive shell in the
снарядом
sandbags.
125-м в мешке. Потому что он тут рядом, я вижу, что
I see the trajectory goes over there. But what about Nazis? This one survived, for the hit went into the middle part.
Прямо посередине. С этим
This Nazi is alive as well.
недоделанным, блин. То же самое.
Right in the
Прямо в самый
center
центр
of the
припея
plate
попал.
I shot and I see a lot of
И вот
small
здесь я вижу
shells.
тоже много мелких таких осколков. Вот таких вот. Они тут есть. В общем,
Large,
есть
small
и крупные, и
shells.
мелкие. Ну что ж,
So
друзья,
friends, it's up for you to decide. Should you use this video as a guide? But I mean, like, share, comment and subscribe of course, because we have 2 and 3 plates put together. A high explosive 125mm round at 700 meters per second hits this wall. Destroys the first part of the plate, leaves nothing behind, except of several rebars, which, of course, well, you see, look sad. The first and the second plates are completely dust. If it was a house, it would be pierced through completely, end to end. Look at this lucky Nazi, a lucky dummy, sitting covered and alive. And here the work of scrap or APFSDS is obvious. The walls are pierced from all sides. This side and this side, excellent penetration. You see even little shards. Or maybe, no, these are little concrete pieces. Some are end to end. Well, the drone is kinda broken. As you can see, its camera is glitching and shaking. Well, somehow it's shaking like this. Bow, bow. Two plates are obliterated by the high explosive shell, and third is intact. So, an armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding sabber pierces all three. The high explosive anti-tank guarantees you one plate. Oh wow. That's a shell fragment. It's so large. Therefore, here should be its remnants. So third plate is intact. And it somehow scientifically proves that you may hide behind the third wall. Alright, friends, before I leave you on the tank, I want to wish you good night. And now I'm leaving you.